weekly slots available on Conroe's FM 104.5, 106.1, and on irlonestar.com. Start your own podcast, create your first YouTube channel, and be on TV. Contact Lone Star Community Radio online at irlonestar.com or call the message line at 936-647-3776 to take your first step into the radio world.
Listen in Mondays at noon to hear Conroe news from local nonprofits, businesses, upcoming events, Conroe Park events, news stories, and information that matters to you with your host, Margie Taylor of Taylorized PR. For more information about being a guest, visit irlonestar.com/Conroe Culture.
You're listening to Lone Star Community Radio on 104.5 KCZW LP Conroe and 106.1 KZCC LP Conroe and worldwide on irlonestar.com.
Thank you for listening to Lone Star Community Radio. This program was broadcasted and recorded live from the LSCR studios in downtown Conroe, Texas. Lone Star Community Radio is supported by listeners like you. Donate and sponsor today. For more information on getting involved with Lone Star Community Radio, contact us at lscrstudios@gmail.com or visit us online at www.irlonestar.com.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And I wish I had the camera on me and so that you could see me, but there it goes. Hey, camera. Thank you for being with us. It is Thursday, and that's my Friday Eve. And then I get to be off all weekend. And it's just, and I miss the show. Richard, I know you don't even understand this, but during the weekend, I'll miss being on the show. Oh my goodness. Let's see who that is. That would be funny if we could do that. If we could go like, so, who is this? No, it was Christy. And I thought she knew I was, on the show. I hope everything's okay. Okay, anyway. I was asking you, could you believe that I would miss this show so much during the weekend? I keep looking at the clock going like, okay, I gotta get ready. I gotta go get Richard a sandwich. I have it's Friday. It's Saturday. So
Days fly by.
The weeks are coming by so fast. And school's going to be out in Willis. They get out next week on Wednesday. They have a half day, and then they are out. Yes. And so it'll be great, because that way I don't have to rush out of here every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, because they'll be sleeping at home, I'm sure. And
Isn't there a bus?
Yeah, but they've never ridden the bus before. The bus
I feel like that's like the solution to everything, that your problem with keeping time is just let them ride the bus. What's wrong with riding the bus?
Well, because then they can't sleep till like 10 to 7, and then
what do you mean? They have to wake up an extra 30 minutes early?
I have to. Then I have to drive 80 miles an hour to get. No, we're about 10 minutes away from the school. We're really close to the school.
And they can ride their bike.
What? Down.
All right.
Have you been
I'm just
down
letting you
Calvary?
know that a lot of people in this world that I've discovered have a lot of problems, but a good percentage of those problems are created by themselves.
Yes, totally. I am a stealth
kind of like when we
grandmother.
created the show. I was like, I know I created this problem.
Yes. When we were asking like how many days a week do you want to be on?
Yeah.
And you were
I was like,
why don't you just do one, and we could get it recorded, and then that's all you have to do. No, Richard, what, you don't want me to do 5? Do you have 3 in a row that I could Because if you're consistent, if you're
I get it.
consistent,
No, people need to start commenting on Facebook to let us know what's going on.
right? And I told you I got this compliment from your friend and mine about the shows we do, just you and I.
Yeah.
They thought it was really
Ask
good.
me anything. That's why I'm been labeling them.
That's what he said.
Ask them anything.
That's what he said.
Well,
I
see,
like your ask me anything.
Yeah, well, the thing that sucks is, so we're on the YouTube channel, which I'm trying to monitor, and the station's YouTube channel, which I'm trying to monitor, and then same thing for Facebook. So when people are commenting, I don't see sometimes because I'm trying to monitor all of it.
Yeah, right.
And unfortunately for the Facebook, it only, for some reason, you have to comment on Cindy Cochran's Facebook, because I don't get any notifications for Lone Stars until like afterwards. It's weird.
Ah.
And I don't know how to figure it out. I mean, I can't believe Facebook hasn't figured that out since it's been out for so long.
That you can't immediately comment.
Well, like for example, if we pre-record the show and we load it on Facebook, when there's one comment area, so the comments are on the same video no matter where you're watching it.
Oh.
But if you stream it live, it's divided and amongst things, so you don't see it. So I encourage everybody to visit the Cindy Cochran Show page on Facebook and comment there. That way I can monitor it and I can see it.
And maybe we can answer it in real time.
Yeah.
Now you can imagine if he just explained what he's having to do and try and monitor that as well.
And they're going to monitor you.
Yeah, exactly. Because he has to give me certain signs to let me know I'm talking too much about something that I shouldn't be talking about, or let's go to break, or whatever he needs to tell me. But the thing that I was, when I had the computer in front of me and we were having people comment, and so I would be I can't get a train of thought out and then look down at the computer.
Well, that's why I'm
see-
doing it,
Yeah.
and I can let you know.
Yes, yeah, and
Yeah.
you can comment. It's perfect. But I saw yesterday when I said, "Are you on the screen?" I thought you were on one of those quadrants.
No, I'm never going to do that because this is your show.
No, but Richard, it's more interesting to see who's saying something than this little picture.
I'm
down
Little
there.
Richard.
You're Little Richard.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, good. I'm glad you're Little Richard. But anyway, that was Dennis O'Connor that was commenting on how he liked the show, and he doesn't like anything. He's like Sam. He would always complain or say something, derogatory.
That's
about
most
it.
people, though. They always let you know the negative before the positive. And, like, basically, they congratulate you when you're dead. Like,
Yes.
he was a great person. What a great guy.
That's true. Yeah. No,
So, all right, so what's going on?
So
Oh, I wanted to tell you.
what?
I saw Dungeons & Dragons 2.
So what'd you think? Oh,
Oh, I thought it was great.
see? Oh, good. I'm
It's
so
on
glad you liked
it's on
it.
Paramount Plus.
That's like the
So
first.
you can stream it. So you can stream it if you have a Paramount Plus account. You can stream Dungeons and Dragons, Honor Among Thieves. It was funny because it was a great balance between like current comedy
Yes.
and then they did really well handling the magic kind of world of Dungeons and Dragons. Like they did, it was very. I don't know how to say it. It's like it wasn't so ridiculous where they even made that kind of funny comments. Like everyone believes magic will just fix everything. There are limitations.
Yeah. And
And then they showed those limitations. That's what I like. They actually showed in that world there are limitations to magic.
Well, it was funny because he also, he reacts to everything like, of course, that's what it looks like. Of course, you're the strange beast, or you're, the strange people that are in that Dungeons and Dragons the whole time. It's all commonplace.
Yeah.
And that this raccoon talks and is
Oh,
raccoon.
yeah, they're, like the my favorite weird. I was like, this looks really weird. Was do you remember the introduction scene to the good magician? Like I don't know his name. He's only in it for a little bit, and he was the black guy, and he was really suave, and he was like probably like the strongest person in the whole group physically, and he saved this baby kitten from being eaten by the big fish.
Oh, that
And-
was in the very.
Yeah, it was like in the beginning.
The beginning,
and
okay.
like you see him walk in, he's all suave, and it was really funny. And then like calms the fish down, and then he reaches in, and it's like this animatronic kitten. And I'm like, what the heck? And then he gives it to the mama kitten, who's this kitten who stands on its hind legs, and it's like a animatronic. It's like, oh. I was like, that looks so weird. Because they had dragons, they had toads, they had but that was the weirdest looking one. Was this, like, imagine like a house cat, but 6 feet tall, 7 feet tall, standing on its hind legs, and it's just like
it was great for
and
the
it didn't
cat
have
people.
lips. It wasn't like talking like a normal person. It's like because all the other weird dragon things would talk. Like they had like.
Right.
Oh, hello, and they would talk,
Yeah.
but this one was like, and it was wearing like a crown. So
it was like the mama cat.
it was a mama cat, but it was just a giant one. So
Yes.
it wasn't like a lion or anything. It was like a house cat that
Right.
was 6
Standing-
feet tall on its legs, and it's like
Whoever's imagination
it was funny.
that's used in that is incredible.
Well, a lot of those animals are part of the lore.
Yeah.
So,
I tried to watch the first one. I tried the very first Dungeons and
Okay,
Dragons.
so that has
going
nothing to
back.
do with this movie.
No, but I thought maybe that
With
would
Jeremy
introduce
Irons
me to
and
the.
stuff.
Huh?
With Jeremy Irons is the bad guy.
Yes.
That's a terrible movie. It's so good.
Yeah. And I just couldn't believe I liked it because I couldn't stand when they played the games at home. You know, they were so into it, and then I thought, I gotta watch something that's different, and it was great. The comedy,
like,
Chris Pratt was great.
Chris Pratt was in that? You mean Jason Statham, I think.
No, wait, are we talking about the same movie?
I think you're...
Wait, you said Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chris Pratt.
It was in 2000, and it was not Chris Pratt.
Who was it? The main character. I mean, he's like the main character.
It's Justin Whalen.
No, it's got
You're talking about the wrong movie. I'm sorry.
the one that just came out.
The newest one.
The very newest.
That's
one.
Chris Pine.
Chris Pine.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, okay, I got the Chris right. What do you want from me?
Oh.
And it starts
I
with a
don't know.
P. The second was Pratt.
And did you like the Helga character being in love with Bradley Cooper, the actor?
Oh yes. Oh yeah. I love. I know
that was great.
They introduced stuff is. You're right.
That was a great little cameo by Bradley Cooper. I was like, wait a second, is that who I think it is? And oh man, that's so good.
You know, they probably played this when they were younger, and then to be able to get into the movie, they just, hey, I won't charge anything. Just let me.
Well,
get
yeah,
movie.
it was a good movie. I just want to let you know, I was like, because I've heard good things about it, and I heard even if you weren't a fan of Dungeons and Dragons as like the lore and everything, it's still like a fun adventure movie.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it has its really like there were some moments that were so funny that that kind of comedy could be in any movie.
Sure.
And somehow it made it work in this movie.
Yeah.
Where it was just like that. That's really creative to make that kind of joke in a fantasy movie.
Right. And it worked. It worked because they must say, if we want people to come see this that never played the game and they just think it's going to be like a gaming.
And even Hugh
movie.
Grant was good in it.
Yes.
I thought he was going to be terrible.
No, he was excellent.
So
I liked him. No, it was really cast so well. It was a lot of fun. So if you haven't seen it yet, you take the kids. There's not. That was the first thing that I think Sabrina asked me. Can Cash go see it? And I went, oh yes. But I've done that before, and I'd forgotten about one scene that was very inappropriate for that age.
Okay.
And you have to be, you have to really think about. Let me go through this again. It's rated PG-13, I think. Does it say? What's it rated? I know it's not. Could be PG.
PG-13.
Yeah, because it's got a lot of action, but it's not too much. That's what's good, and it's not too much
And it's
talking.
creative. Like when that dragon comes out.
Yes.
You're like, oh,
what is-
it's good. It's so good. It's so good.
it really
well, that
is.
was actually it was funny when you talk about violence in movies. I always wondered, like, where the MPAA, which is like the regulatory system of movies, there was a couple scenes where it wasn't too violent close up, where they're fighting and like when they stab somebody, it wasn't like very gruesome. But then when they had shots that were far away, you see guys like getting their heads chopped off, and I was like, oh. Is there a rule where since it's so small? Yeah.
That's interesting. Now,
So I encourage everyone. Cindy was right, and you should go check it out. It's fun. It's a fun movie.
And that's on record. It's
yeah.
recorded. I
I'm in a chat group with just movie people because I really like movies a lot. And when I said, "Hey, just by the way, check this movie out. It's not that bad," and everyone's like, "You saw that? Why would you see that?" And I'm like, "Well, I kind of watch every fantasy movie ever." And I was pleasantly surprised with this one. It's one of those things. You're like, why are they making? Who is this for?
You didn't give me credit that it was because I told you I liked it.
No, I knew when it first released, people were already saying, "Hey, this is good, like surprisingly good."
Yes.
Did not expect that. Because if you watch the 2000 version, it's just not well made. Like every time Jeremy Irons is the bad guy, and every scene he's in, it's like you have to be the most over the top, terrible person in every scene.
Right.
And you're just kind of like, is he just in front of a green screen when he does this? Like he did it in 2 days and he's done? Or
isn't the second one? Didn't they stay more in the cabin? Weren't they more in the ship and interacting in the?
What are you talking about? Second one?
Didn't they have? And it's the third.
From what I understand, they're not connected. So
they're all standalone.
They're all standalone. So like the world of Dungeons and Dragons, there are some that are connected in the stories, but a lot of them are all unique. Because the way the game worked is the Dungeon Master books would be released in series. So I think it was like every 2 to 3 years they release like 6 books, and they have different scenarios to play in. And then after that, 3 years later, they would release 6 more. And they're not necessarily connected, but it's still in the lore of Dungeons and Dragons world. But the characters and stuff might not be connected. It's like all new characters and things like that. But like they're still dwarfs, that kind of thing.
Richard, I just wish you were into this thing so we could talk intelligently about it. No, you see, imagine how long he has played games since you were how old? When did you start playing?
Like the first board game?
Yeah, no.
This is a board game, considered a board game.
Okay, but what was the first video game you played?
I think I was like 4.
What was
2
it?
or 3 or 4.
Okay, you did Star Wars and all that. You played the game.
No, the first game I got by myself, I was 4 years old. It's because my brother told me to get it. It was like a birthday gift. He's like, "What do you want for your birthday?" And my older brother's like, "You need to get Mega Man. You need to get Mega Man."
I love Mega Man.
And I was like, "Okay, I want Mega Man." And so we got Mega Man and we played that nonstop.
When we went in the theater and saw that movie, I was so shocked.
Mega
I was
Man?
Mega Mind. Was it Mega
Oh,
Mind?
here we go.
Okay, I think it was Mega Mind. I'm sorry. I thought that was the same. It was a cartoon, but it was the best cartoon I'd seen. It was
Mega Man.
Then why do you make me?
What?
You just want to make me look like you don't know what you're talking about, Cindy. Mega Man. That was right. Okay.
No, you're talking about something separate. Again,
I'm talking about what?
the cartoon you saw or whatever.
Yes.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
Okay.
But when you said that, I thought that's what you were talking about. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have acted like that. I'm
That's
sorry.
fine. But Mega Man, I love Mega Man. Love it. Love it.
So,
It's one of my favorite series. I think they've made like 12 games or something like that.
Yeah.
Over the course, and then it's a great game.
Well, go see the cartoon movie.
Mega Mind.
Mega Mind. See that.
That's not Mega Man.
Just see that and go like,
Because
this
I think
is
Mega
so
Man
cool.
is a cartoon in Japan. I think it is. I don't really
Oh,
know.
really?
I wouldn't really into that. I just like playing the game. But yeah.
Well, I have never, ever got into that. It's, Samuel likes
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yes. And to
Great
me,
game. That's a great
that
game.
was a great game. I'm going like, good grief, this is amazing. And it had a, it's like you're on the horse and you go into the town, you can go into the, you meet people.
Yeah, there's a lot of
you go in the
details
bars.
that are fleshed out in that game. They did a great job.
Well, if you like that one, then
Here we go.
so you like a big variety of different ones. It's
I
not
like
just
I think my favorite games are more strategy based. So it's like you're taking turns and it's like a game where there's rules and you try to outsmart the opponent with the rules. Those are my favorite kind of games.
Well, did you ever play the game where it was about this guy was a detective and he went to find, the clues. You look for the clues and you go in and you become the detective, and it's great. It reminded me of like a lot of 40s movies. But
Well, there's L.A. Noire. There's L.A. Noire is the most popular detective kind of game.
L.A.
Noir?
Like noir.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like you go to the game is one of those games where there's little things in it, like there's like you interrogate people.
Yeah.
And you can monitor their face, and so you're trying to use the facial recognition of like your eyes, comparing like the characters. Like, is he lying? Is he not lying? That kind of thing.
I love it.
It's really interesting. Yeah.
That is so much fun, and because it's really more interactive, and you feel like you're part of the. It was a lot of stuff was done in San Francisco because they'd have the race, and the cars going over.
It might be that game you're talking about. I don't know.
That would be.
There's a lot of detective games out there.
That's. I like it that you like that kind of game. That would be if you can find.
All games are
like that.
a lot of fun. I like anything a little challenging.
Yes. Yeah.
So like Mega Man was fun because they call it a platformer, which means you're like Mario, like you're jumping up and down.
Right.
And in Mega Man, you jump up and down and shoot things. And you're a robot, and then when you defeat a boss, you can use their power, but you have limited of like juice to use that power, and so there's different. So
it is so complicated.
Yeah, so it's like you have have these
word.
8 bosses, and you can go on their levels in any order. So you try to figure out what's the best strategy because water can do stuff to fire, so I got to kill the water guy first to get his power to go to fire. So when I fight the fire guy, who's really hard by himself, but now I have a water power, I can just turn him off. But yeah, I like those kind of games too, just platformers. And
that's amazing. Richard he's so talented in so many different areas, and that when we were doing way more of him, and you would start talking about that, it's just like, man, that's.
I can't imagine how many hours I've wasted on video games though.
Well, your nephews play them, right?
Yeah, they play like the most boring games. To me, that are boring.
The ones that are out now?
Yeah.
Why are they?
Like Minecraft, to me, I don't know how that's so popular.
Oh, it makes me.
Like, I don't really. I guess it's the reason.
Dizzy.
I guess why I don't understand it because there's not really a storyline, and I get that it's like a crafting game, but it's like,
right.
What are you crafting for?
Right.
So is it?
What's the end game?
Yeah.
On
What
this?
What is it like? Do you get points? Do you get like when you share this with other people? Do you achieve something, or is it more of like, oh, cool, I recreated the Statue of David in Minecraft,
Right.
and it's like cool.
Well, it was like Sims, and where you're building your house and you're building all
the
these
Sims
things.
actually had a storyline to it, though.
Yes, you're right.
And or you can go free play mode and just do whatever you want, and that's fine. But I'm just surprised the amount of popularity in Minecraft.
It caught on. It really did catch.
And I was like, because I bought it actually for all my nephews, and we all played it, and that was fun. But then when they left, I was like, why do I want to play this game without them? Like I was trying to I spent a couple hours building doing stuff, and then I was like, I don't get it. Maybe I'm missing something.
Well, do you remember Skylanders, the games Skylander? What are
The
you?
game, like the place?
No, Skylanders, the game. You'd have to buy the little statue.
Okay, so this is way after me. So they're little figurines.
Yes, the figurines you have to
Yeah.
buy and you put on the pedestal and.
This is way
costs
after me. This was a kid thing, not me.
That was the biggest suck every dollar out of your parents' budget. I spent so much money on that stupid thing. And Samuel has a box of all these Skylanders, different toys. And so all his friends were going to come over for his birthday, his 18th birthday. And so I took them all out and I was going to put them all over the place.
That's fun.
And he saw that. He said, "It's a good thing I saw that before they came in here." And he took them all down. I thought that they were so expensive. I was just trying to get a little more.
Well, I mean, games today are really weird. Like how they market it and how you can play them. Like Fortnite, for example.
Oh, and Fortnite, yeah.
So it's like, it's a free game. Because, for example, I went over to a buddy's house, and his kids were playing video games. They're playing Fortnite, and I was watching them. And I was like, I bet I could beat you in Fortnite. And he's like, yeah, come on. And so I beat him in Fortnite. We played, and I got further than him. And then I was like, how are they making money? And then he showed me all these cosmetics he's gotten.
Yes.
And I was just sitting there. I look at my buddy, and I get the dad. I was like, how much does all this cost? Because usually you just go buy like a $40, $50 game, and you got the game.
Right.
And you're good.
Yeah.
And then you unlock stuff like the cosmetics. But now it's like, oh, no, here's the game for free, but you can buy this jacket for $1.50. And it's like all those little things, and it adds up. And I guess people are spending money on doing that.
Well, that's the first time that my credit card got hacked. Was I gave it to Samuel to get
A game
whatever
or something?
it
Yeah,
was,
probably.
Xbox Live or something
Yeah.
like that, so that he could play and all these games that was going to come with it. And then I started looking at my statement and going, Microsoft, what?
Yeah.
What is it? And so I went to my bank.
It was probably Sam buying little things.
No, because I had to come in and do it.
Okay.
Like he couldn't
All right.
use it for that, but it was on the Xbox thing. But somebody got in there and just went to town, and
It was probably him.
no,
Because my nephew did that to my Xbox.
No.
He's like, can I play it? I'm like, yeah, sure. And he played some racing game I had. And then I started getting emails about little charges. I'm like, what the heck? And I go in the room, and he bought like the police car because he wanted to play as the police car. So he bought it. And I was like, did you know what you did? And he's like, no, I wanted to play as the police car. And I was like, yeah, but it said it's going to charge you $5 for it.
right.
And he's like, "Oh, I didn't know that." I'm like, "Don't play with me. You know exactly what that was, because I don't have parental controls on my stuff."
Yes.
And then so I was like, I called my sister. I was like, "Hey, if you have an Xbox, then put parental controls, because your son is he spent like $35
And change-
within seconds." And I was like,
right.
"Just be careful." And I'm gonna let him keep that because he's liking the game, but. I'm not going to ask for 35. I'm just letting you know, because he had no connection to spending money because he was young enough not to know. And I was like, I could see so many parents just going like, what's going on? But I bet you anything, Samuel didn't know he was purchasing something.
Okay. But I told Microsoft that they're going to have to investigate and see where it's coming from, where these charges are coming from.
Yeah.
And so they said one was in Washington, one was in California.
So you're
He said,
saying
"You've been hacked."
Microsoft got their stuff hacked?
Yeah, but it was it was coming through. I don't know who it was coming through, but Microsoft was one that was charging me on my statement.
So basically, what you're telling me is your credit card got stolen somewhere along the lines of like going to the fast food or something, and someone bought Microsoft stuff.
No, it was they had hacked into his account, and his account has my number on it.
Okay.
And so
he gave his account stuff to somebody.
yeah, and I said,
So it
"No,
was Samuel that was doing it.
no," but so it was. What made me so mad is that they have this game sharing thing, so they can pay for one game. Like Samuel could pay for this game. He comes and asks me, "Can I have this game?" I said,
Okay.
"Okay." So he can pay for that game, and then his friends can play that with him.
Yeah.
So I said, "Now how are they interacting with your? Can they read what you have on your account or anything like that?" And he said, "No, that account's private." And I went,
Oh, that's how you think they got it?
"Yeah." And so that's how Microsoft, they pay me back. They paid me everything back that was there. And then, but then one time I kept getting this weird thing about. I can't even remember the name
Let me
of
ask
it.
you this.
But
So
it was
I
bad.
saw an ad the other day about, I think it was like Chase Bank now has an account for kids.
Yeah. And they
And,
want that
like,
cash out or whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
debit card or credit card. And I know probably banks have done that before. But now that the whole world works through Apple Pay, so it's
Right.
like you got to have something on it to work with Apple Pay. So I was like, is that a good thing or a bad thing to give Apple Pay to kids?
No, it's bad. It's really bad because they
Not a credit card.
no, but it's cash out. They can get cash out of those cards, and so
But it's like you put the money in. Like, say you give an allowance of like $15 a month.
right,
So you
right.
you go, hey, $15 every month.
No, but that's lazy on the parents' part because parents don't know what that money's going
Because
for.
I wouldn't give I wouldn't give cash to kids.
You mean like an allowance?
I wouldn't give them cash.
What would you give them?
I would do the card because you can actually see what they're buying.
Okay, I guess because they're always with me.
Well, that's
I know what they're always buying.
well, no, I'm just saying because, if you give a kid $20, it's that day old story where you give them all like the great lunch, and then he goes to school and trades the lunch for like a book or something, and it's like, oh, I
Yeah.
didn't eat today. It's like, why did I give you that lunch? Or
Right. Oh, I hate lunches. I hate having to get.
but yeah, I can see that being
make a lunch.
Yeah, because Apple Pay is now the way to go.
Well, I know eventually. I mean, they're 16 and 18, so you feel like that would be a good thing to do, but they have to do chores, and
Well, not even that, but like they could get a job.
Well-
Say you're 16. Like when I got my first job at 16, I want to say I opened my first bank account.
You did?
But I didn't have like a debit card. It was just like a
Right.
bank account. So for
Right.
me to get money, I had to ask my mother to take me to the bank, and I had to withdraw money. Like when I bought my first, video game or whatever, I had to like go to there first before I went to there, or my mom would buy it, and then I just reimburse her for convenience sake.
Well, and the kids are always complaining about, like we have no money and we don't have any money, and I just like to have some money. I'm not going to spend it. Just have the money.
You got some
And both of them are really good.
real expectations over there.
What?
Real expectation over
No,
there. It's like I just want some money. I don't need to spend it. I just want to have something in my pocket.
Yeah, just so I have it. And actually, they would take their money, they'd put it in their room, they'd hide it in the room somewhere, and then they would keep it. They were still spending my money. I said, "But you've got money," and they said, "Well, I didn't bring it with me, or that it wasn't there, or whatever."
Well, you're
But it was
little grifters over there. I like it
they're learning how to do that. But
because it's funny. Growing up, I like video games in general. And I remember the first time my mom was like, "I'm never buying y'all a video game ever again." And I forgot, it was either like my brothers, we all got in a big fight over it to the point where it got physical, because I have 3 older brothers. And so she's like, "Don't ever ask me again for Christmas gifts, birthday gifts. Don't ever ask. Don't ask for, like, you're not going to get money that goes towards video games. You're not going to get da-da-da-da." Like, it became a thing. So, like, when I was really young, I was like, I have to somehow get money to buy my own games because I want to keep playing. But I would put money, I would save money in, like, a jar or something, like that. Then
that's $50 for those games.
yeah, it took me a long time, depending on what I did. Like, if
Would your dad let you do chores? Did you have chores to do?
No, I got it. He paid me to do landscaping at the business centers that he managed.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's technically child labor, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah,
But he's
Probably
like,
shouldn't
"Hey, I'll
have
pay you
put that on
if
his
you come
resume.
if you mow these things and edge it and get rid of all the cigarette butts and stuff like that." So for like every Saturday for, I don't know, a year and a half, that's what I did when I was like 14, 15.
That's good.
Because he was already going up there, and he's like, "Hey, come with me for the next 2 hours. This is where 2-3 hours."
Well, Sam's trying to teach.
That's why I don't smoke cigarettes.
That's why you don't smoke, because you're sick of the.
No,
the
they're
cigarette
everywhere.
butts?
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And the worst thing about it was the ground was gravel, so you couldn't really
Ooh,
sweep them because
yeah.
you'd sweep the loose concrete, and I was just like, I really have to pick these up one by my hand, like. And this is what I love. I remember I get in the car, I was so pissed off. I was like, "They're just everywhere." I was like, "Dad, can we just buy one of those cylinders that people put cigarette butts in?" And he turns to me and goes, "I don't want to encourage smoking." And I'm like, "They're already smoking." But if we do that, at least half the buds will be already picked up.
That's great. He didn't want to encourage smoking.
Yeah, and I was just like, this is a pain in my butt, man.
But they're out there smoking already. That's just...
Well, I mean, it was business centers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just people taking breaks, and that's where they go, and then just be cigarette butts everywhere. Because for some reason, in the weird fashion of our minds, cigarette butts are not considered trash, so that people just flick them everywhere. For some reason, because some people throw their like fast food trash, but not everyone does that. But like pretty much every smoker just flicks their cigarette butt.
Right.
You know?
Are they? All the movies that you saw, they always after they took that
it's
last
weird.
drag, they
it's
drop
like,
it, and
we don't associate that with trash.
Yeah.
But we don't see me drinking this water bottle and be like, oh, I'm done with it. Let me just throw it on the
Yeah,
ground.
right. Because and you look back at the movies that they apparently forgot to
And
sweep the streets,
And everyone's
stuff.
like, oh, they're biodegradable. I'm like, yeah, 15 years later, like.
No, they smash them on the ground. But that's what they would do. They just drop them wherever they were, and then step on them. Some of them would step on them. Some of them leave them lit. But it was terrible because everybody smoked. And when you went into a restaurant and you try and eat, if everybody started eating at the same time and then we all finished at the same time and then I could walk out. But Sam would eat really fast, and he smoked, and so I would eat so crazy, just trying to hurry and just digest this so I wouldn't have to smell that smoke, because I couldn't eat after when he started smoking, I couldn't eat. But he thought, well, if I just hold the cigarette down back in my back.
Oh, yeah, you can never get away with it.
No, the smoke's going.
That would have been like the #1 product for 30 years if you somehow got like an Axe body spray that like just absorbed all that smoking stuff. You like spray it on your fingers and stuff, and then boom, you're done.
Yeah.
You would have made so much money. And then like 30 years later, you're causing cancer because of it, ironically.
Yeah. And now nobody's supposed to smoke. You don't have that problem anymore.
Well, that's what, we always talk about funny things with the governments, and, the government's been around for thousands of years, different governments. That's my favorite new thing is you read about these states like banning tobacco, but then it's like that same state is promoting marijuana. And you're just kind of like, I wonder how that works. And it's just kind of like, it's a little on the nose, don't you think?
Well, what's funny is that the government...
Because the alcohol thing I get. You can argue there's a big difference between it, but, they're both killing you.
Right,
But it's
right.
like... But the marijuana thing is really funny to me. It's like, okay, so you're promoting that, but we can't smoke this, but you can smoke that.
But the government used to...
Tables have turned.
They used to mail boxes and boxes of cigarettes to the military. And
Do they still do that? I wonder.
What?
Do they still do that?
No, I'm sure they don't do that now.
I have no idea.
They can't. Well, they can go to the canteen and get their own cigarettes. But they used to mail that to all of them.
Yeah.
And so they were always supplied with cigarettes. And all the movies that you saw in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, it was everybody smoked.
Yeah.
And that was part of...
It's to pass the time.
Well, and to get through a line or get through a story or something, they'd always stop. And lighting the cigarette was such a big deal. It was funny how, so they normalized it. So everybody thought it's okay to smoke.
That's fine.
It's
People who
not
smoke right now, it doesn't matter.
and they go, look, you need to relax. Here's and they give them a cigarette.
That's what I'm saying. It's really, to me, it's like a hypocritical thing. It's like, let's let people smoke. People know the dangers of living. So it's just like, there you go.
No.
Let them do it. Now there's certain respects I think people need to have.
Well, yeah.
Like if I'm in a bathroom and I'm changing a baby, it's like, do you mind not smoking next to my baby?
Yeah, so it's better just...
Because the restaurant stuff I kind of get.
Oh, it's horrible. I mean...
Because, it's weird to me. It's certain rules on tobacco. So, like, there's certain places that let you smoke cigarettes, but they won't let you smoke cigars.
Well, that's such heavier.
I know, but it's like, if you're already open the door for smoking, it's like, why not just let someone smoke a cigar?
That
Because
really
I've been to bars and stuff where they're like, people are smoking everywhere, and it's like, you light up a cigar. Oh no, you cannot do that. And you're like, kind of like, what?
That's strange.
Because I like smoking cigars.
Yeah. You do?
Yeah, I like smoking cigars a lot, and it's just one of those funny things to me. I was like, that's kind of, again, these rules are so weird for certain people. It's like, if you're allowing people, this is a place to relax and have a drink and smoke a cigarette, then why can't it be a place to smoke a cigar? What's the difference?
Well, remember, they have those rooms where you can go in. What do they call them?
Smoking rooms?
No, for cigars.
Lounge rooms?
Oh, now if
Cigar rooms?
what do you call?
Speakeasies? I'm trying to go, like, I don't have that many.
It's a cigar. Well, it's just a room where they can just go, and that's what they're going to just do in there. Is
A cigar lounge. Like, what are you talking about? There's some fancy term for it?
yes, there's a
I don't
fancy
know.
term for it. That's what I'm trying to think of. I can't think of it.
Well, now the new thing I love. So at the bowling alley, we have to make announcements that you can't vape inside.
Oh,
Because people's idea is like, this is vape. This isn't smoke.
right. No,
And then you can still blow it in someone's face.
exactly. Exactly. That's what my son-in-law. He's vapes, and we were so happy when he got off of cigarettes.
Well,
'cause
vaping is the same thing, isn't it?
yeah,
Well, I mean, maybe it's like a little bit better for you, but from what I understand, it's still nicotine. And it's still
and sometimes this
you're still inhaling something into your lungs.
right.
I don't think there's anything really good to do that with besides like asthma medicine.
No,
And that's if you have asthma. I think it's bad for you if you don't have asthma and you're sitting there just hitting your
and his
inhaler.
wife, my daughter, has asthma, and she can't stand the vaping stuff. But I think that if he would just he just needs to quit everything. Once you quit cigarettes and you're not smoking anymore, and then he decides I'm going to vape. That'll be, you've gone that long without smoking a cigarette. That it's just sad. It's so sad
I don't know.
when somebody gets hooked on that.
It's not hooked.
Yes, you get hooked on smoking.
Yes.
Yes, you do. Just like you get hooked on bowling and you get hooked on different things, and you go like, I can't quit them. I wish I could quit this, and you can't do it. So drinking is not a problem for you. You don't drink, right?
I mean, I have beer,
You have beer.
but it's not like I drink every day.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
I'm a social drinker.
You're a social drinker, and you can stop anytime you want to, if you wanted to.
Too much socializing I'm doing. Well, I mean, to give you an idea, like if you go to my house, I have 0 alcohol there.
Yeah, your mom done a lot.
Well, no,
Does she?
it's like no, it's just I don't have it in my fridge. I'm not really. But if I go to a buddy's house, like I am later today,
Yes.
I'll pick some up and we're gonna watch some baseball and drink some beers.
Are you gonna watch the Astros?
Yeah.
Did you see last night's
Mm-hmm.
game?
But yeah, I mean that's the way I look at it now. Yeah.
It was amazing, and I had to go to.
But do you feel, Cindy,
Yes.
with society changing so rapidly, and it changing on a dime of what's good or bad?
Yeah.
Do you think like alcohol and that kind of stuff is going to be villainized in any regard? Because like smoking, for example, has now changed into like if you're a smoker, you're a disgusting person, no matter
Right. That's right.
what scenario you're
That's
in.
right. That's right.
And do you think alcohol is ever going to be looked upon like that soon? Like maybe not tomorrow, but like in 20 years, like oh, he's drinking wine. What a bad person.
The only way they'll probably get rid of that or change that is if
Because alcohol's been around in society for a long time.
alcohol.
Yeah, like you know,
Yeah.
that was kind of the joke back in the day where it's like it's better to drink beer than water because they treat it and it's actually cleaning. It's like cleaner.
No, I hadn't heard that. And
Well, that's why monks made it.
and the biblical sense, that
yeah,
well,
it was-
wine
it
is
was-
good for your stomach. And
Well, no, that's from what I understand. The fermenting process was a good way to make the water better for you because no one knew that boiling just water would clean it.
that's right.
So
I remember having so many arguments with people saying like, "Listen, Jesus drank wine. Why can't you drink wine? He drank it, so you should be able to drink it." And I said, "Well, it wasn't, the fermentation of how they did that was just you drink it. Had different types of wine.
I don't
You
know.
had the hard
Cindy. I
wine.
was always under the impression that wine can will make you have your decisions confused. Like it's not bad drinking wine, but you as a human know if you drink wine, you might not make the best decisions.
It dulls
Yeah.
your decision making process. I wish I had that like as an excuse. But
Well, no, I
it's-
mean it's a
it's dull
choice.
anyway. So, but I've been to so many parties and people and teenagers. I couldn't understand why they get so trashed and throwing up, and everybody thought,
Well, they're
oh,
teenagers.
that party was so great, man.
They're
It was-
teenagers.
Huh?
They're teenagers.
Well, they still drink too much.
Yeah, but it gets filtered out though. Like there might, like if 10 people started doing it, maybe by the age of 55, one person's still doing it. It's not like all 10 people are still doing it.
Is
that true? You think that's true?
I don't know if that's true or not. I just think it's
Well, yeah, we always. I had a couple of friends, so we're 36, and one of them is sober. Like it's a known thing that he went through the whole process. And I was talking to him about it, and I go, "Is it strange that you have to label yourself and your decision that you have to tell people you're sober? Because when people tell you you're sober, they immediately think, oh, he had a problem."
Mm-hmm.
You know, if that makes sense, like, oh, he must have gotten arrested, beat somebody, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I would tell people I'm sober. I think I would just say I just don't drink. Because when you tell people you're sober, they immediately think you went through AA or something
They
like
want to know
that.
for how long.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. It's kind of weird. And I know, like, AA has proven to help a lot of people, but it's just kind of like, I think I would just tell people, no, thank you. I do not prefer to have a drink.
Right.
Kind of like people do not prefer to have, you know, garlic on whatever. It's just like, that's all you need to know. Like, I don't
That
want.
probably would have been better than for whatever I would tell people. No, I don't drink because if you drink, you're going to hell. So
Yeah.
that's what I was taught.
Well, I
is
mean,
that-
technically, I'm going to hell too because I'm a bastard. So if you want
because you're a what?
a bastard child. One guy, when I was growing up, called me a bastard child because my
Ooh.
mom married my dad for the second marriage. And since I wasn't from the first marriage, I was considered it. And he was straight up serious. And I look at him
my
like,
goodness.
well, that's not very nice.
What a thing. What
But
a-
the people like you do that. So it's all right.
well, I mean, but I learned not to do that. That
Yeah.
it is my job to judge anyone.
Oh, is
You're not
it?
supposed no, because God said I'm going to judge you the way you judge other
Yeah.
people.
So you're basically taking the responsibility away from you. You're like, I don't want to be responsible for judging people.
No,
It's easy
because-
to let someone else do it.
Well, he knew you didn't. You would have no idea why they're doing what they're doing. He does. He understands what's going on.
I know, I get you.
So you gotta
it's
don't
a,
judge anyway.
It's a circle with that kind
Just
of
love
talk.
everybody. Love,
But yeah.
love.
But I always, yeah, it's interesting to me, like when people say that, like they associate like people saying sober. And
Mm-hmm.
It's just like,
Yeah. Well,
good for you. That's what I love. It's good for you, and you're drinking a beer. It's like good for you, man.
well, in the movies and on television, every time someone came over to somebody's house or something, the first thing they'd say is, "You want a drink?" And they go make them.
Tea,
Make 'em a drink.
coffee, or
No, they were drink. You know, I mean,
well, it's back
like-
in the day when you guys were all heathens.
Right. They were serving drinks to everybody, and so the thing that it's like people smoking in movies, and then they start trying to take the smoking out of it, but they haven't the drinks. The drinks are, now it's like, you want to do a line? What do you want to do? What, just tell me, what is your drug of your preference for drugs that you like to do?
And yours is to tell people what they shouldn't do.
Right.
Yeah, that's your job, right?
But if
or to judge them.
Did you do you hear about the fentanyl that's in it's talking about how fentanyl has been put in everything to try and get people to taste it, or to come in contact with it. Why are you looking at me like
You
that?
mean like to neutralize it, so we're used to it, or whatever that process
No.
is called?
No, because people would start dying from
Yeah,
it.
I think if you like inhale it, you could like die.
And they would and they'd stop drinking because they wouldn't know if where this came from, and it might be tainted with fentanyl.
That's why we should legalize all of it.
You're not going to legalize fentanyl, are
No,
you?
you legalize whatever. You think people are taking fentanyl by itself?
No,
Because I know doctors can prescribe it.
well, of course,
Yeah.
it's under.
It's not some like crazy cooked up drug that people make in their
No.
basement. It's like an actual
No.
drug.
And they use it for for you're going to surgery, and
Yeah.
they use that and that kind of, and it's an amazing drug when you come out of.
Oh, so
Out
you're
of
addicted to
fentanyl.
it? Are you trying to ask me if I have some?
No, I don't want to know if you
This
have
is
some.
so
I'm just,
weird.
I'm just saying.
I'm trying to figure out where this is going.
No, I just say it's like with cocaine, when the street cocaine had showed up with a lot of glass.
Yeah, well, no,
glass
it was
particles and stuff.
always weird things. It was like baking soda.
Yeah.
Or
things that would hurt you. They have like the glass thing was a deal. So people were afraid to, maybe.
I think that might have been a boogeyman kind of move.
Well,
because you think it's smart if you're making a product to put glass in it.
I think we need to make our children so fearful of if they go to a party and somebody says, "Hey, you wanna have some more energy?"
The fentanyl thing is actually like the true thing, and I think that's the better marketing today instead of saying glass. It's like, hey, there's stuff in there that could kill you instantly. So
instantly, yeah.
Like don't do that.
Yeah,
that's why I don't do cocaine. That's the only reason I don't do cocaine.
That's the only reason you don't do cocaine. That's great.
I'm kidding with you.
Thank you.
Well, no, I can't imagine being a kid. I mean, that's something where it's just like, because kids are going to make stupid decisions.
Right.
And that's the gamble. You're like, all right, how do I get into their mind that this isn't just like, oh, back in my day, this is what we did, and we don't like that. Well, I wouldn't do that. But it's like, no, let me tell you something. This is going to kill you.
Right.
So
that's
don't
right.
do it.
No, that's true. I was working at the telephone company.
Kind of like what they did with you in marijuana back in like the 30s, right? Where marijuana kills you. What was it? What did marijuana make you do? Kill people? What was the original? Remember that like Reefer Madness movie
Reefer
where it's
Madness,
like, oh,
yeah.
you smoke this, you go crazy, and
you go crazy,
and you'll kill people.
That's. I was working at the phone company, and I was so tired because we stay out so late, and I was so tired, and so some guy came and said, "Cindy, listen, you got all that filing to do. I can help you get through that real." I said, "You're gonna come up and help me?" He says, "No, I'm gonna give you something to help you." Okay. So he comes up and he has this. He starts opening up this aluminum foil thing. I said, "You have me something to eat?" I thought he was gonna give me something to eat. And he goes, "No, you take this."
Is that what why Southwestern Bell failed?
It could be.
Everyone is just
it could have been, but he gave it.
And so open and giving it to people.
No, he says, "All right, now take this, and you're gonna get through this." And I said, "What is it?" And he said, "It's just, I think it was Dexatrin or something like that."
It was like a pill.
I didn't know what it
Out of
was.
aluminum.
He says, "But just take it." And so I took it, and I went back to I got everybody's filing done. I did what everybody wanted. It was great. And I said, I can't believe, I feel so good. That was great. And I got everything done. I still feel energetic. And I'm walking across the street, go to the parking lot to my car, and my knees went out from under me. I couldn't feel my legs.
See, that's where I don't really know what the problem was there, because you fall all the time.
That's true.
So
that
could have been the drugs.
Could have been the
maybe. Could have been Cindy Cochran.
I could have been playing the drug card all this time, and I didn't do it, for crying out loud. No, but I did. It was horrible. And my friend was with me, and she said, "What's wrong?" And she pulled me up, and I said, "I don't know. I can't walk."
He poisoned me.
So then I asked him.
That's what what's scary about that is, would you say there is some room for error even for prescription drugs?
Well, of course.
Because I always feel, especially like people who are going through depression, unfortunately, when the doctor, people can correct me if I'm wrong, but the doctor's motto always seems to be, when it comes to depression, we're going to see how this works.
Yes.
And I'd be like, if anyone told me that, I'd be like,
yeah.
Okay, so if something's growing, I need to tell you? Or, like, what does that mean? Because when you watch those commercials for all those drugs, like, these side effects, I'm like, is this worth it? Like,
may cause diarrhea and it may cause death, whichever you choose.
It's just kind of wild to me. It's like, because I get the underground world of drugs. It's like, you don't really know what you're getting. It's kind of like, you're gambling a lot higher than if you went to a doctor and got prescribed.
Right.
I'm not saying that doctors are trying to kill you or anything, but it's just like, I always, with kind of that confidence in it, it's like, yeah, we're going to see if this works. I know you had a lot of medical issues, and I know, like, for example, my father's had medical issues, and it's like, always, like, every year we're trying something new. And it's like, man, maybe, like, I wish somehow the world was just a little easier for people who are, like, that's scary.
It is, and especially, like the antibiotics and stuff like that, they dole out so much, and then you get where you're resistant to.
Well, do you think we should go back to that society where we just send off the old people? It's like, hey,
yeah,
You're done.
Yeah,
Let's put you on the iceberg and ship it away.
right.
Do you think we should go back to that?
I think they're already trying that because
You think so?
my mom was like
Yeah,
80
I remember that story. Yeah.
86, and they said she's too old to have this operation. I went, what?
All right, Cindy, we got to wrap up.
Oh,
We're
okay.
having too
I'm
much
sorry.
fun.
I'm sorry.
Who's,
Okay.
So let's clean up this episode. Unfortunately, your guest canceled today.
Yes, that's right.
And
Tracy
that's
Walton
why
was
we're
supposed to
on
be on
today.
Yes, and sorry.
She's got a great cause, so we're going to try to get her on.
Again, yes, we'll reach out to Tracy and try and get her on. We've got a full schedule this week. No, this week it's over.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is Andrew Usey, and you love Andrew. Andrew's our public information guy. He knows everything about everything. So he's going to be on. He's got an exciting story to tell
You
us.
should do that. You should have cards of random questions. Like, you're the guy that's supposed to know everything. So let's do these topics. We
Pick a
got
card,
world
any
news.
card.
We got geography. We got history. They're going to be on talking about some cool stuff.
Yes, no, they are. He's got some great stuff to talk about. And Chris Wootton, we thank you again so much for being our sponsor. We really do appreciate you. And also, we always end with saying how much we appreciate our first responders. We respect you. We love you so much for always being there. You're running into it and we're running away from it. We thank you for that. So anyway, we'll be here tomorrow, and do not fail to be with us 2 to 3, the Cindy Cochran Show. Thank you so much. Love you. Goodbye.